Ms. Young, you and your daughter are here in court today to prove that your deceased common-law husband, Johnny Wallace, did not cheat on you with Miss Terrell and father her daughter, Miss Patton.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say once the results prove he is not Miss Patton's father, you will sue to recoup all of the Social Security benefits from Miss Patton that she wrongfully received after his death, totaling over $12,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Terrell, you say Mr. Wallace never denied your daughter, but it was you who chose to separate your daughter from Mr. Wallace's crazy lifestyle. You claim that once the DNA test proves you right, you want your daughter, Miss Patton, to be accepted by the Wallace family. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, Ms. Young, when did you first find out about Miss Patton as one of Mr. Wallace's children?
Your Honor, the jury is still out on that one. I never found out. All I know is that I've known him since I was a teenager. We lived together. He's my daughter's father. And I never knew of Kaisha being his daughter, and still don't till this day. I found out when my kids started getting Social Security, and then a few months after that, I got a letter from Social Security indicating that someone was applying for Kaisha Social Security for her father also. That's when I got my first knowledge that he was supposed to be her father.
So, Ms. Terrell, you say that Mr. Wallace acknowledged your daughter?
Yes.
And his family?
Yes. Me and Mr. Wallace was going with each other. We was together every day. We would go out.
Did you know he was in a relationship with Ms. Young?
Well, he had other baby mamas. He was around with all of them.
So, Miss Patton, what was your relationship like with your alleged father, Mr. Wallace?
I didn't have a relationship with him. I saw him. I had a conversation with him, and that was pretty much it.
When you say you didn't have a relationship, he was not a part of your life?
Not consistently, no.
And you say you had a conversation with him?
Yes.
Just one?
Yes.
In your lifetime?
Yes.
What was that conversation about?
His mom picked me up. She said, "Little girl, I'm gonna take you to see your daddy today." I just sat there. We got to a house, nice big house, and we walked in. When we walked in, there was stairs, an entertainment center. When you go around the bend, it was a kitchen. We went and sat in the kitchen. I just sat there, and she like, "You okay? Why you so quiet?" I said, "I don't know what to expect."
How old are you now?
I was about 8, 9.
And so you sat there.
He came in the kitchen, he looked at me, and then he talked to my grandmother, and then he came back to me, he said, "Hey, little girl." I said, "Hey." He said, "You know who I am?" And I said, I guess. And he's like, "What does that mean?" I said, "I guess." He said, "You pretty." I said, "Thank you." And my grandmother, she said, "Tell her." And he like, just stood there. And he like, "I'm your daddy?" I said, "Are you?" And it kind of went back and forth. And he was like, "Well, I'll talk to you later. I gotta go." And he took care of some other stuff around the house, and then he shortly left after that.
He left the house?
Mm-hmm.
And you were still there?
Yes.
That encounter, and the way you remember it is, it's amazing, actually. Just a young girl, 8 years old, having that kind of encounter.
You're right.
Did you ever hear about Miss Patton?
Yes.
And you did?
Yes.
What did you hear?
One day, Mom said, "You know Kaisha's supposed to be your sister." And I was like, "Yeah, right." You know, thought she was playing. She was like, "No, for real. She's supposed to be your sister." So I called my daddy on the phone, and I said, "You need to come here right now. I need to talk to you." And he came right away, and I said, "Kaisha's supposed to be my sister." And he said, "No, she's not your sister." And I said, "Well, that's what my said." He said, "What did I tell you?" He said, "You think I wouldn't have her around you and your brothers?" And then me and him never talked about it again.
Were you told that this was definitely your father or that this may be your father?
I was told he was supposed to be my father.
In the moment when you met him and you had that conversation, and of course you're only 8 or 9, so you're a young girl, Did you get the sense that he knew you were his daughter and was acknowledging that, or that he questioned whether or not you were his daughter?
It was so much back and forth. I just wanted to be a kid. And in trying to be a child, I was tormented by them.
How?
Well, he say your daddy, but we don't know. Or my thing is, at 35, I'm still living 10 years old, 12 years old. As a child, I would play with Tamika. From my knowledge, her grandmother raised her too. So maybe that's why her mother did not know or did not have the knowledge, maybe because she wasn't there to raise her child. I don't know. I know of Miss Young. I don't know her, just as she doesn't know me.
And you're saying as a young girl, you would be picked up and you would do things with Miss Stapleton?
No.
As if,
Yes.
As if you were sisters?
Yes.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. And so, Miss Stapleton, you remember these encounters?
I remember hanging out with Kaisha, yes.
As your
We
sister?
would hang out together. She would come over, we would play. After my told me that she was supposed to be my sister, my daddy told me she wasn't my sister. It was just like, I made up in my mind that, I wanted to play with her anyway. I wanted to, be friends with her. I like hanging out with her.
While you're playing, you're just doing things girls do,
Yes.
dolls and whatever. In
Yes.
your mind, you're looking at her saying, is this my sister or is
Yes,
this not?
it's always been a question. Just like she said, he stood there and said, you're supposed to be. Nobody really knows for certain, but I accepted it at a certain point in my life that that's what we were.
And now do you believe she's your biological sister?
I don't know if she's my biological sister.
Miss Terrell?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Is Mr. Wallace's name listed on your daughter, Miss
No,
Patton's
it's
birth
not.
certificate?
No, it's not.
Nowhere on there.
No.
Is anybody on the birth certificate?
No.
As listed as father.
No.
So, Mr. Wallace, was he aware when you were pregnant with Miss Patton that this was
Yeah,
his child?
he was aware. I was a virgin when I first met Johnny Wallace. Me and him used to hang out. He used to come to my mother's house. I used to go to his grandmother's house.
Man, that was my house
Okay,
across the
listen,
street.
what I'm trying to find out is when you found out you were pregnant, did you say to him, I'm pregnant?
No, his sister already told him.
She went to the family and told him that she was pregnant. He gave her money to have an abortion, and she did away with the money however she see fit.
Okay,
Then-
but
but
Miss,
he
hold
didn't know I
on,
was
Miss Young,
pregnant,
but
you
then
said.
that argument would suggest
thought you
that
did-
he is her biological father.
Okay, that was after the fact I heard. Like I told you, the jury's
Our
still out on that.
great-grandmother,
I don't know who
Judge,
her daddy is.
Judge,
And then
our
apparently she don't
great-grandmother-
either.
So, Miss Patton, you ended up being entitled to Social Security benefits after Mr. Wallace's death. You're saying his family accepted you,
Yes.
and so you were listed as one of his children, and obviously
I just got free
received
government money.
benefits
Yes, ma'am.
after his death.
My great-grandmother said that when they called her and asked her, did she know anything about Kaisha and could she be the daughter? She said, I know Kaisha. Johnny said he gave her mother money at one point to get an abortion, and she think that they went shopping with the money. I wasn't there, but that's what she said. She told Social Security.
In a situation like that, as law, if there is a question of paternity, then a paternity test would need to be taken, correct?
No,
Before they disperse government funds
not back then.
to
It is my understanding that when they called your great-grandmother or whomever this family member was, whatever information they elicited led them to the belief that you were entitled. Now, since none of us were on that conversation, we don't know exactly what was said. But it, of course, to me, seems interesting. He's not on your birth certificate. There is question amongst the family as to whether or not you are or are not his biological child. And yet you are still collected. You collected. And so somewhere along the line, someone gave that caseworker a very strong feeling that you
Yes,
were, in
ma'am.
fact, his biological
Because
child.
they don't go
Probably
maybe.
because,
They did.
as we just heard in this courtroom via testimony between you, Miss Patton, and Miss Stapleton, you all testify to the same things. That you all were carted around and raised, at least at some point in time, like you were sisters.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
So ultimately, Ms. Stapleton and Ms. Young, as you stated in your court papers, this Social Security that they've collected has in some way affected the benefit you believe you're entitled to.
Well, if proven that she's not his child, she's not entitled to his Social Security.
She has questions in her heart. I have questions in mine.
Absolutely.
They
We
don't-
just want to
they
know.
don't claim
That's
her.
it.
They don't claim her.
Ma'am.
They would.
And so, Ms. Stapleton, you were very close to your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I was. My father was really hands-on with us. He was around every day, took me to school, picked me up from school. He was a part of me and my brother's life. We was always together. The man that I knew wouldn't deny any of his kids.
I just want to know if I have a question.
Did she shut up?
Please do not disrespect me no more, and I will not ask you again.
Who's she talking to?
You.
Girl, boo. Do what you do.
However,
I mean, she talking about
Ladies,
Just for me,
get
please.
Miss
back
Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
You need to calm down.
Miss Young claimed she never knew about me. I was never accepted. I got on a flight to Savannah, Georgia, with Miss Stapleton to come and get her. If you didn't know me, if you didn't accept me, why? I can understand Miss Stapleton. She just want to know. Just like everybody else, just want to know. But all the extra drama, when you have known about me and you've chose to accept me depending on the day and the way the wind blow, now it's a problem. When you've been to my house, just like I've been to yours, so you coming sideways, why? I'm not understanding her motive. I'm not understanding her point.
I understand and I feel your confusion. That's why this courtroom exists. Because you are not the only family that is wrestling with a level of dysfunction or confusion with a paternity claim. That's why we're here. Because it leads to this. Two beautiful young girls that grew up together, playing together, are now standing on opposite sides of the aisle trying to answer questions that really adults should have answered for them long ago. But that's the beauty of what I get to do every day here is I get to provide the answers that people so desperately need, and I have the answers for you.
Thank you.
Jerome, the envelope.
Thank you, Jesus.
Jerome, we've got a lot of passion in this courtroom today.
Yes, we do.
Please stand in between plaintiffs and defendant and make sure we act like the beautiful ladies we are.
All the time.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. Because we were unable to collect DNA from Mr. Wallace, we have not performed a paternity test between either young woman and Mr. Wallace. What we were able to do is to collect samples from each woman to determine if, in fact, they are related. So as I read these results, keep in mind that they are based on the presumption that Miss Stapleton is, in fact, Mr. Wallace's biological child.
Right.
In the case of Young versus Stapleton Patton, pertaining to Kaisha Patton, it has been determined by this court, Miss Patton and Miss Stapleton, you are not related.
Already knew it.
All right.
Miss Stapleton, are you okay? I see you overcome with emotion. What are you feeling?
I just feel like we should have known this a long time ago.
Yeah.
They should have cared enough as adults to make sure that we had accurate information a long time ago.
Miss Patton, How are you feeling now?
A little relieved. I just don't have to go through it no more. And now I can move forward with my life.
Miss Terrell, I have to ask you, is there another man that could potentially
No.
be Miss Patton's
No, it's
father?
not, because I was a virgin at the time. No.
And you were never with any other man besides Mr. Wallace?
No, I started seeing someone afterward, and I took a maternity test downtown. No, he was not the father.
Is it possible, but maybe you forgot or overlooked someone?
No.
So now listen, the DNA has proven that they don't share a father.
They don't.
But it doesn't necessarily preclude Mr. Wallace from being Miss Patton's father if he's not Miss Stapleton's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt?
Yes, ma'am. I am 1,000% certain that Johnny Wallace is Tamika Stapleton's biological father.
One of the reasons why we provide answers, it's not just about clarity. Of course, that is the first step. But it's about now, what do you do with the clarity? Mr. Peebles, you say you married the defendant, Mrs. Peebles, on April Fool's Day 2 years ago, but since then, you've been played for a fool. You claim you are not her 20-month-old daughter, Amira's biological father, and are stuck on the birth certificate until today's results prove you are not her dad. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Peebles, you say that you were the one fooled by Mr. Peebles' lies and empty promises. You believe that today's DNA results will prove your case, and you demand he stops running from his responsibility. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Peebles, explain to the court who is fooling whom.
Your Honor, truthfully, I feel like I'm the fool. In the beginning, everything was cool. She was nice. But then to find out she's very conniving, bossy, insecure, all of the above.
So you say you feel like a fool.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, did you set out to fool him, Miss Peebles?
No, ma'am. He fooled me. I've been taking care of this man for 4 years.
So what is the nature of you guys' relationship? How did this begin?
How we met is through a friend of a friend. We went to a club and we was introduced like that.
So, and somehow you ended up married. What happened?
He wanted to be with me. When he went away, he made it real clear he wanted to be with me. So I took initiative and say, okay, we're gonna make this a relationship. And I've been there from day one. I do it all, from taking care of Amira, taking care of him. He's like my third child. So how am I fooling anybody? He's fooling me, deceiving me, saying he loved me. He don't really love me.
Do you love him, Mr. Peebles?
Yeah, I love her, but this is just like a stopping point right now.
Now, he claimed I was cheating on him, which I'm gonna be honest, I did. It's because he cheated on me first.
Mr. Peebles, how did you find out about all this?
The day before my birthday, we got into it. So on my birthday, she dropped me off at my mother's house. She went to this little party that was already in the making.
Incorrect, he drove my car. So I got picked up to go to this party, which I met the other guy.
Wait a minute. Take me back to this day. It's your birthday. What y'all supposed to do? Go out to dinner or something? What's the plan?
He don't want to be around me. He didn't even invite me to his
It
party.
was just, I was gonna enjoy myself, but
Without
she already had plans to go to this party regardless of my birthday, getting into it or anything. She already had these plans.
Oh, so you're saying it wasn't about the argument or you all not getting along that day. She had already made these plans.
She was gonna go regardless.
So you felt like there was a previous plan for her to be cheating, and it was regardless of your birthday.
Right.
So on your birthday, you said you're gonna go out and have some fun yourself. Without
what
you.
I'm supposed to do. To stay in
And
the
then
house.
how does it get to the point where you find out, Miss Peebles, your wife is cheating?
I called her phone.
And what
I
happened?
called my
I
phone.
called her phone and he answered her
You
phone
a
and
lie.
said, I'm chilling with my baby.
What?
Exactly
That's
what
a
he
lie.
said.
Judge, how he found out is when we came home that Sunday, I told him, we got into it, I can't remember what the argument was about. I said, okay, that's why I had an affair with the guy. Whoa. He got mad and punched the wall. There's a big old hole in my wall when I was in the process of moving.
And so wait a minute. He picks up the phone, dials his wife's number, and a guy picks up and says, I'm chilling with my baby?
That's a lie.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lie.
Yes, Aunt.
On his birthday.
That's a lie. He don't even answer the phone. I pay his phone bill every month.
So he does have valid doubt.
Why it seems so funky is because, of course, I was sleeping with him, but I used protection with this guy. I was sleeping with him unprotected.
Okay, you say you use birth control, you use a condom. Well, we know that's not 100% effective. Is that the only time you slept with that guy?
Maybe a week after that, but like I said, protected sex.
1 week after?
Yes, Your Honor.
Take me to the day you find out you're pregnant.
Found out in November, which I was already 2 months pregnant. And the guy that, I messed around with, I stopped messing with him in September. So how could there even be this man baby,
So wait, in November, you found out you were 2 months pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Peebles, when is your birthday?
My birthday's September 21st.
Okay. Let's go back to the 2 days after Thanksgiving. That's when you said you were pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's exactly 2 months.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's an easy calculation.
And continue to see him after we, got back together and everything.
But
So
he was also talking to other women. So my whole thing, it's okay for you to do it, but when it's come down to me, I'm the bad person.
It's not okay for either one of you to do it, but when you come up pregnant and you admittedly were having a sexual relationship with another man 2 months before you find out that you are 2 months pregnant, we don't have to be rocket scientists to do that math. So when you find out you're pregnant, who do you tell?
Of course, my husband, Mr. Peebles.
So you tell him. And when you find this out, Mr. Peebles, what is your reaction?
My reaction was, I'm super excited. This gonna be my first child. But I keep replaying like these time frames. And I get to thinking like, dang, almost 2 years of being together, unprotected sex, never got pregnant until you go outside the relationship and come back, and now you pregnant. My name on the birth certificate, but I'm here to find out results.
So, Mr. Peebles, is this the only man you believe your wife was with?
No, ma'am.
There's another person?
Who?
Somebody else came to my door. I look at her, she look at me. Like, who can that be? Most people call before they come. Go to the door, it's a dude at the door. She behind me. All type of names to her. So I couldn't tolerate the disrespect.
What you mean all type of names?
Well, curse words.
Oh, the guy was cursing at the wife?
And telling her, like, I took care of you.
Which he did, because he was never around.
And
He
from
was never
that,
around. He don't have a job. So yeah, he took care of me, paid my bills, and did it all. But I wasn't having no sexual relationship with him.
I'm confused, Jerome.
That's two of us.
You're married to Mr. Peebles, but you had another man paying your bills and taking care of you?
Multiple.
How else was he getting taken care of?
multiple.
Oh,
I wasn't gonna keep on using my money.
so you took another man's money to pay for the man you live with?
Yes.
Whoa.
It's multiple.
Multiple, but he making it seem like I'm the bad person though. I'm the bad person when he up here talking to other women and got a baby on the way. We married now. Your baby due in 2 weeks before our baby birthday. And you still talk to her. And she your friend on Facebook, but your wife can't be your friend on Facebook.
Wait a minute now. Is that true, Mr. Peebles?
Yes, Your Honor.
And why is that? Why is that? He left his whole entire family for her and moved in with her. And then, Your Honor, he left her to say he going back to his mom's house, but he said he wanted his family back. He wanted to work on his family, so he came back to move in. And ever since then, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, I work 14-hour shifts. I'm a manager. He's out doing whatever he wants to do. I don't never see my husband. Never. I call his phone, I'm on blacklist.
Mr. Peebles.
Nag.
What woman
That's all
don't
it
nag?
is.
What woman
Nag.
don't nag? Of course, I'm a nag because you're not there for me. I've been there for you for 4
put
years,
trackers
Bernardo.
on cars, on my phone.
Track, yup.
Cut the phone off.
I sure did. I'm paying for it.
Come on, man.
I'm paying
Was
for
she
it.
paying for the phone bill?
Yes,
I do it all.
Do you
Your
have a
Honor.
job, Mr. Peebles?
I had a job.
But he quits it. He quits. He quits. So that means I take care of everything. From childcare, clothing, everything, and still give him money to make sure he okay.
I don't see nothing.
You don't see nothing. Okay.
I don't see how you taking care of me.
How? You still around, you get money from me.
I take care of myself.
How you doing with no job?
Mr. Peebles, did you get another woman pregnant
Yeah, I
at
actually
the
did.
same
Your Honor.
time as your wife?
We went our separate ways.
Not legally.
I moved in, it wasn't even moving in with her. I moved in with my best friend. I ended up meeting this other person. We got intimate.
They take pictures together.
Started spending the night, we moved in.
While you all are still married, all
Yes.
this is happening?
Yes. He don't take me out, Your Honor. He don't do nothing for me. But I see on Facebook, he all hugged up on her. When do we take pictures? We married. We don't take pictures together. We don't spend no time together. Every time we go out, I pay for the bill. I do it all.
Ask her about now, though. You pregnant now. How you get pregnant now?
Yeah.
What you been doing? Who you been with since
somebody
I
else.
left?
But guess
and
what,
we
Your
been
Honor?
back together, and she still been with him. Still been sleeping with him, coming in 8:30 in the morning.
That was
Come on
only
now.
twice, but he comes in 4 or 5
It doesn't
o'clock
matter, but-
every night, Your Honor. Every night he
But,
comes home.
Your Honor, do you
Wait
get
a
what I'm
minute,
saying?
hold
in the
on.
morning.
Miss Peebles, are you pregnant now?
Yes, Your Honor.
And this is with another guy. She went outside, came back, and then her again, she pregnant again. Same thing with Amira.
Do you know who this child's father is? Is it Mr. Peebles or another man?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know.
Okay, so we in trouble here. We're in trouble here. Let's get back to Amira first. Mr. Peebles, do you have a relationship with Amira?
Barely.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. What does that mean?
She more like in daycare. So it's like I don't, when I'm out, I'm out. When I come home, you know, woo, woo, we
He
FaceTime, talk, woo, and I see her. I don't know. I'm honestly, because I got the doubts that she's not mine. So why am I sitting here trying to take care of a child that's not mine?
And so when you look at Amira, do you feel like there's any resemblance?
I don't know how to really look into and see if she look like me or any of that, the features and all that. I can't see none of that. I don't even look at it like that. I really don't.
I'm okay with that. It's plenty of people come in this courtroom and say, oh, the baby looked just like me, and then it's not theirs. I mean, we see that all the time. So if you say, you know what, Your Honor, I haven't really studied her features, and I don't know, I can't tell, I'll accept that. So, look, Ms. Peebles, did you ever tell the other guy you got pregnant?
He knew about it.
He did.
He knew about it, and he looked at Amira and said, "That's not my baby." He said if it was his, he'd take care of it like a real man.
But you haven't had a DNA test with that man.
No, because I know it's my husband's baby. I know it.
How do you know that?
I know with using protection, I know it is not like a good, reason, but yes, we use protection. And
She don't even feel it kind of when it broke on her when I used it. It's too much. For real, it's too much.
If he wasn't starting off with his infidelity, we wouldn't be here today. He started everything, and I was, like I said, there for day one. Take care of this man. I do it all, Anna. To this day, still do it. And it's not fair. And all I wanted was my family.
So you do want your family?
With this other baby involved and issues, I don't think this gonna work. He don't want it, he don't care about me. All he doing is using me. And I let him stomp on me and do it all, and I still just take the punches and still love him.
Be at the top somewhere then.
Mr. Peebles, do you want this relationship, this marriage to work?
He don't.
So if Amira is your biological child, you do want to try to make the marriage and the family work.
Maybe.
All right. I can see we're going in a circle here. A vicious circle. Jerome, I'm ready for the results.
Okay.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Peebles versus Peebles, when it comes to 20-month-old Amira Peebles, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Peebles, you are the father.
Take care of your responsibility. Help me out. Start helping me out. I ain't dumb. And you making it feel like I'm the fool. I'm deceiving you. You deceived me from day one. And deny her.
Quit cheating.
You stop
Coming
cheating.
home pregnant.
You stop cheating. You got a whole baby on the way. What you gonna do with 2 kids with no job?
We got to figure something out, family.
He don't.
This is very, very toxic. The foundation of your marriage is just destroyed. You all have to decide if you want to build it back brick by brick, or if you're fine with it just being demolished. If that's the case, then move on and learn how to co-parent.
He ain't gonna help me.
People doing it every day.